It's strange to say this, but Hashirama might be one of the most underrated characters in all of Naruto. That feels strange to say, because we all know Hashirama as basically being the next thing to a god. He's the god of Shinobi, the strongest Hokage by a mile, and the only person who has ever been able to stand up to Madara before the 4th grade ninja war. Yet honestly, when you think about it, all of those things are the least of Hashirama's accomplishments. I'd even say that they distract most people from realizing just how amazing the first really was. So today, let's really dive into what makes Hashirama so important. My name is TK, and let's get into some anime. Hashirama was born in the Warring States period, which is by far the darkest the Shinobi world has ever been. There was no loyalty except to one small clan, and each clan sacrificed anything and everything they had to if that's what it took to survive. Clans made soldiers out of any child old enough to hold a kunai, and most parents' love extended no further than training their children the best they could for combat. It was a period where so many people died that the average life expectancy was 30. Hashirama grew up in this hell of a world, but he was one of the few people who didn't believe that this was the way the world was supposed to be. In fact, after burying one sibling after another, Hashirama dreamed of creating something different, a world where nobody had to die. This sounds obvious to us, but it's anything but to someone in Hashirama's position. In the world he lived in, this dream was so naive, he might as well have been crazy. The only person who shared his dream was Madara, and even they realized that the only way to make this dream a reality would be to have the power to back it up. Hashirama is by far the strongest character in the series, before we get to Six Paths or Otsutsuki characters. Yet why did he become that strong anyway? Nobody in the Senju before him or since managed it after all. I really do believe it's because of this dream that Hashirama and Madara pushed themselves beyond what everyone else ever did. Eventually, Hashirama was the strongest person in the world. He wanted to make a ninja village, a system by which clans who hated each other could come under one umbrella and could put aside their differences. He wanted to make a place free from war, where children didn't have to die. Even as strong as Hashirama was, he couldn't do it on his own. He needed Madara and the Uchiha. After Tobirama killed Izuna, Madara was ready to fight to the death, his dream long forgotten. Yet, Hashirama still managed to convince him by being willing to sacrifice himself if that's what it took. And so, we have the first ninja village, the village hidden in the leaves. Other nations followed, and pretty soon, most clans were part of a ninja village. Say what you will about how awful some of the villages were, they were still a whole lot better than dozens of clans all doing nothing but trying to kill each other. Then, if that wasn't enough, then Hashirama was also the one who had the foresight to distribute the tail beasts. At some point, the first managed to capture every single tail beast. He wasn't just the strongest ninja alive, he also had all the tools he needed to rule the world, if that's what he wanted. With that much power, Hashirama just gave it away. He gave each of the 5 great villages one of the tail beasts because he hoped it would build trust between all of them. Besides, Hashirama was shrewd. He wasn't going to be alive forever. If he died, and if in 50 years the new Hokage didn't share his ideals, he didn't want that Hokage to effortlessly take over the world, right? Distributing the tail beast caused a lot of grief too. It caused tensions between the villages and didn't do much to stop the Great Ninja Wars from happening. It caused Jinchuriki to suffer to house these beasts even as they became outcasts in their own villages. Yet, even so, I think the alternative would have just been worse. Then, perhaps the most important thing of all, we have the Will of Fire. The Will of Fire is the central philosophy of the Leaf Village. It's the idea that everyone in Leaf is part of one big family, and that they should do things thinking about everyone, not just themselves. Hashirama made a village that could protect everyone, but he knew that something like that would never last unless everyone in the village worked to make it last. This Will of Fire was passed down from Hokage to Hokage, until finally it took its roots in the heart of Naruto himself. It's this idea that made Naruto think of Sasuke like a brother, that made him hear out everyone he ever fought against. It's this philosophy that made the Leaf Village a place you could be proud to be a part of. Of course, just like everything else that Hashirama did, this wasn't perfect either. The Will of Fire could be interpreted 100 different ways, and some of them led to darkness too. This led to everything Danzo did behind the scenes, thinking that he was just trying to protect the leaf through whatever means necessary. It's what caused Itachi to kill children, if that's what had to be done to protect the village. The first Hokage did a lot of crucial things, but none of them were perfect, without downsides. Despite that, the first Hokage started off in a world that was basically post-apocalyptic, and he turned it into a world where people at least had a chance to live a decent life. Beyond all his epic feats of power, I think that's the real reason the first Hokage is the god of Shinobi, flaws and all. Thanks everyone for staying until the end. Let me know who you think was the most influential ninja in Naruto. If you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, keep that will of fire alive. 挽回千本桜影吉